Dave Ritchie is the 2011 recipient of the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association's Honorary Lifetime Membership Award. Dave and his brothers founded Ritchie Bros Auctioneers in Kelowna, BC in 1958.
How did the auctioneer business start?
Out of necessity. You know, I think we needed to raise a couple of $1,000s one day, and we had approached several people, and one old fellow, old J.B. McFarlane, he suggested that we have an auction sale, that we did have enough merchandise as surplus to our store needs. And we went ahead and we rented the Scout Hall in Kelowna, and one Saturday afternoon we had our first auction sale.
The very first thing he sold was something I had paid $60 for, and he sold it for $5. I thought, boy, this is going to be great. But as the sale went along, there was an old piano in the sale that was, we thought we were going to get $100 for, and it sold for $275. And all of a sudden, we liked the auction business, and we've been doing it ever since.
Here's a guy that's coming from Kelowna in the 1950s, and he's got a vision of creating a global marketplace before the internet, before anybody would even think about trading equipment in this manner.
He set out to be #1 in the world in the auction business. His legacy is that he is.
He's taken an industry and created it basically single-handedly, with his brothers until about the 1970s, and then he gathered a whole bunch of partners around him. He's the first guy to say, hey, it wasn't me, it was all the guys that were with me. And the reality was the guys that were with him, if you ask them, they say, oh, it was Dave. And really it is. It's Dave in his quiet way, very persistently growing and moving forward with a very core set of values and what's right and what's not right. And we only do the things that are right, focusing incessantly on the customer.
The one characteristic I would say that stands out about Dave Ritchie is he is ultimately all about customers. I've never met anybody that puts as much care and attention into ensuring his customers are treated with the utmost respect, but the utmost comfort.
The one story that sticks out in my mind for me personally was our first sale in Australia. The night before the auction, it started to rain, and it rained like no end. And the field is getting muddier and muddier and muddier as we over the day. And really quickly we realized that if we're going to serve our customers right, we can't just let them walk through the mud. So we have to create roads. And we can't do it with gravel, we don't have the time. Let's go and get some wood chips. So our job is to make sure that we can spread it to create pathways for the customers in the morning. And I think it was probably 1 o'clock in the morning or so when we got our rain slickers on, and we have wheelbarrows, and we got skid steers, and we're moving stuff around. And I'm on the pile shoveling wood chips into the wheelbarrow to carry it over. And I remember reaching my shovel back, and I hit somebody behind me, and I thought, oh geez, I turned around and said sorry. And it was Dave, and he's there shoveling wood chips with me. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning in Brisbane, and it's pouring rain, and the guy who owns the company is right behind me shoveling right beside me, and that, to me, it personified what Dave is all about.
I think you'll find Dave is very fair, and I would say he's very honest in his dealings.
Dave is he's a very charitable guy, and behind the scenes, Dave is always helping folks, helping different associations, causes. He doesn't ask for anything in return, and he doesn't ask for the fanfare.
He's a very generous person. He's true to himself. He's straightforward. What he says he means, and what he means he says.
He likes to play cards, and he's not the best at cards, because you can beat him once in a while. So he's not perfect at that. One thing he's perfect at is running an auction company.
He visits auctions all the time. Even though he's been retired, technically retired since 2004, but he's the kind of guy that will never retire. His name is on the door. He's extremely proud of what he's built, I think, and he's extremely proud of the people that have helped him build it. He's very quiet. He does things with very great amount of purpose and a very deliberate way and persistent way. If one word you could use to describe the guy, it's persistent.
For salespeople, that's the #1 attribute is persistence, and he is persistent. If he sets his mind to do something, it's very, very difficult to shake him. And as experience has proven to me, more often than not, he's right.
There was this famous phrase that everywhere we went, if we were down in Atlanta, Georgia, or in Mexico, or Phoenix, Arizona, and somebody would walk in the door and they say, hey, I'm a friend of Dave's. And it was the FOD, friend of Dave. And you know what? Everywhere we went, everybody was a friend of Dave's. And the reality is that they are. And Dave is friends with them.
Everybody knows Dave. I mean, he's Ritchie Bros' flagship. Every time you greet him, and it doesn't matter where or when, he takes the time to come over and say hello to everybody.
Well, we've established one of the largest industrial auction companies in the world, and it's, I think, highly regarded throughout the world. And as long as they maintain that, I'll be happier than anything, and that's all that counts. I've had a lot of good friends, had a wonderful life, had a good family life, and a very supportive group around me, and I've been lucky. And that's all a man can ask for.
Dave's not big on awards, and he's quite a humble guy. It's an unbelievable story, it really is. I mean, it should be on the front page of every business school in the world, in the country, about Dave and what he's been able to do and create this industry from just sheer will of it's the right thing. Treating your customers like this in an open marketplace, unreserved auctions, guaranteeing title. It's absolutely incredible what the guy has been able to accomplish. You know, and he'll say, well, with lots of help, and of course with lots of help, but you know what, it doesn't get accomplished without somebody with a vision to make that happen.
On behalf of all of us at the Alberta Road Builders, thank you, Dave, for your contribution to the industry. Congratulations!